What's up, gamers? The basic concept behind this build is you take Warp Strike to generate a ton of gems, then Gem High will ramp up your move speed and attack speed based off of that. You take Celestial Wings to move around at a decent speed while still attacking, and then finally you get a strong proc like Soul Stealers or Chain Lightning to do a ton of damage with the attack speed you're getting. This build has decent damage, decent movement speed, great survivability, and best of all, it feels extremely smooth to play. For gear, I strongly recommend you get a pair of +1 dash boots because it makes time space feel much smoother and it makes it much easier to keep up the Justice dash buff. For weapons, Snow's Watch is quite a good starter weapon, but it does have a small issue with the 45-degree angling on it. Like, say if you're trying to attack this and you fire either 2 or 4 projectiles, your projectiles will go to either side and just miss it, which makes auto attack much harder to use, but it's actually very nice to have on later in the game once the build gets going. The spinning amulet has some nice projectile speed, which makes it much easier to hit moving enemies. There's one other thing that's very good over here, 60% spell duration, which I've been using on Scotty. That significantly increases the duration of Alteration Ritual and Gem High and Soul Stealers, stuff like that. Sometimes I've been using multi-head because of the 3 base projectiles and 3 spell projectiles, but it's a bit hard to get it going because of the low base 9-9 damage. Most of my other gear is focused on high XP gain. This has some spell duration and alteration dice, which makes it much easier to get the build that you want. This jewel is actually a completely useless unique. You can get a mythic that's basically the same but just better. The Adept offers far outweighs the 0.5% experience gain. I have a bit of XP and luck here. You can also get percent XP if you want there, but I have so much that it's kind of overkill at this point. I have a bit of passive XP there. The shard pool area is useless, but I haven't really found any gloves that have like just one stat that I really want to use. I was using this helmet for a while. It has a great amount of life, which can help if you're taking some hits early on and some expert offers, but I'm just running the XP for now. And then for Relic, Cool Off isn't amazing for this build, but it does give you a little bit of extra mobility, so you can get extra shrines and stuff and then convert that into extra stats basically. So I'm focused on Alteration and XP to make the build as consistent as possible, basically. And then obviously you're using time space to get the XP to you as easily as possible. So I'm going to do this run with the Snow's Watch, so basically everyone can at least try some version of the build with this. And hopefully I can get a version with Death, since I think that's a bit stronger. One little tip I have for the early game is if you attack and then immediately dash, you can actually skip the attack animation and it won't slow you down at all. For this shrine, I always take spell duration because it's super good with Gem High and Alteration Ritual when I'm doing a time-based build. So I attack and then dash, and I'm just canceling the slowdown on the attack animation every time. So let's alterate this and see if we get anything decent here. Warp Strike already perfect. Justice also perfect. I'm going to take Divine Shield first to lock that in, although I don't have the dash for her yet. Most of the early game, I just attack when I'm doing the animation cancel with the dash, so I can get a lot of shrines early on. Celestial Wings is actually fine at white. I won't currently have enough spell duration to keep it up permanently, but as I scale up time and get some more levels and stuff, I'll have plenty at just level 1 white dash. With a stamina shrine, I'll actually turn on auto attack and just let that farm XP from off screen.
Infinity.
Let's see, Gem High, perfect. We're already almost fully online, just need a good proc from either Chain Lightning or Soul Stealers now. I don't mess with those since I don't really like taking the chance that I'll lose some luck in the run. I just like making my current run as strong as possible, basically. Wow, that is a lucky run. I will just take, I guess, Ravens. These are all actually useless on the build, but I guess I can get a small amount of curse going for now. Spell duration is very nice. I don't need heal since this build doesn't even take damage. I will grab Reprisal here. I will grab Alteration Ritual to get the chance at getting Blessing Rarity upgrades already. I like getting that early, and then if you get the second level in it, it's around a 50% duration increase on it, so that's a pretty big increase as well. So like I said, about a 50% increase in the base duration. I'll take Spell Crit on these because most of your damage comes from the procs from you attacking and not the actual attacks. So like Soul Stealer or Chain Lightning or whatever. I always take Life at these because dash cooldown doesn't actually work like you would expect. If you stack around 100% dash cooldown, it actually reduces your total cooldown by around 53% or so, I think. So 15 HP on the other hand is actually a pretty big increase in survivability, even though I won't end up needing it for this build. It's just kind of a good habit to build. More Alteration Ritual, don't really care about Summoner that much. And attack speed is useless, so you may as well take spell speed for Alteration Ritual stuff. Or Summoner if you really want that. And at this point the build's basically fully online, so I'm pretty much untouchable. Just need Soul Stealers to get my damage up. And I'm using auto attack now, so it doesn't really matter what I'm doing with the mouse.
Growing up here was...
Let's see, Execution for some more XP. I will take Deadlock here, I think. Like, these do the similar thing, but this affects more stuff, and it actually just increases that more than this does anyways. None of these are amazing. Attack area is okay since it slightly increases your chance of hitting more enemies with your attack, which can then generate more XP shards for you, so I will take that. There's also a small argument for this in that you can potentially get more like XP shrine drops from enemies, which can also give you a little bit more XP. But attack crit is just completely useless. A lot of Justice. I should actually probably... Well, I guess I'll lock this in, that blue. That's pretty nice for the Divine Shield cooldown. But I should be using my alterations to try and roll into more death and time stuff, actually. And then, since you have Warp Strike and Gym High, you don't even really need to do anything against the Slime Wave, to be honest. So let's go ahead and re-roll this, or alterate, whatever. Grab some more Alteration Ritual there. Might need to move around a little bit if anything gets too close, but it's pretty chill at this point. Could really use the Soul Stealers though. I guess I'll get this in preparation for when I finally get them. I will lock this in at blue. I actually prefer to ban time field on this build. It does increase your survivability, but since it slows down your own projectiles, it actually sometimes makes your XP generation a bit inconsistent, which can then result in your gym high stacks falling off, which I find to be pretty annoying. Finally, Soul Stealers. Even at white, it's very strong on this build, and I can start ramping up Mayhem now. Like, white blessings and everything is just melting already. I will upgrade that for the small chance at XP, I suppose. 50% spell duration is insane on this build. Like, you're scaling Gym High, Alteration Ritual, Soul Stealers, the dash on Justice. Like, it is just an insane stat for this build. I will finish that off, I suppose. Try and max out my XP gain. Let's take that, since neither of the other ones are super useful. I'd prefer to ban them if I can get some bans from shrines, but that's one of the things about relying on the shrine for bans, is that it's just really inconsistent. For this, I always take armor since it lowers the cooldown on Divine Shield. The cooldown of this blessing is reduced by your damage resistance instead of cooldown reductions. I actually ban Force a lot because it's so strong, but in showing off this build at its full potential, I'm just going to take it here and show how much damage it does. Oh, I have Splinter from Fates and Alteration Ritual, don't I? Yeah, so you see, since I'm at 2 projectiles and the angle shoots them to either side of enemies, so it's pretty annoying, and that's why I kind of don't like this staff. I get a lot of questions on why I don't use this one, and this is why, like just shooting projectiles to either side of the enemies. So I'm going to turn off auto attack for a bit and try to aim this manually so I can hit these guys, I guess. But it is really annoying when you're at an even number of projectiles. This would be much faster if it was just going directly at them.
Yes.
I will max that out, and then now I can only get an upgrade on the rarity for it. I will take the only useful one here. If you can stay in close range to them, it will make it a bit easier to land the projectiles on them.
Death did not.
Let's alteration to try and get some more useful stuff. I have a banish, so I will get that out of the way. I guess I'll grab a point in summoner. Since it doesn't actually have levels to it, you don't actually waste that many points on it. So it's like more efficient to banish skills that have 5 levels to them, like one of these skills, although I actually like these skills, so I'll take them. Nice, I love seeing these shrines on this build because there are so many useful things to banish. Between these two, this seems like the obvious pick, but I kind of like leveling this up so you can get more phantoms, which then allows you to stack the curse kills more, which then allows you to stack that even more. So I always take banishes at these. There's a ton of useful stuff to banish on this build that's useless. Let's banish time field to get that out of the way. I will upgrade this first to improve my alteration ritual and increase my chances of upgrading the rarity of all of my blessings. Since I have summoner, spell speed is just straight up better than summon damage. I will upgrade that to max out my XP. Let's banish that. Since I kill everything so fast, the skeletons can never really even run over to anything and hit it anyways. I kind of like not taking this so that it always has the option to appear with alteration ritual, so I'm gonna toss another level into that. Although honestly, if I saw a high rarity like purple or higher for it, I probably would take it just to like block in the bonuses for it. Let's see, I actually could lock in everything to expert, but I think I've taken most of the important skills for my build now. So I'm just gonna go with the extra 50% XP. Extra duration for alteration ritual and stuff. I suppose I'll just grab that to increase the proc rate for soul stealers and for like cool off and stuff. And of course, any of the random things you get from Alteration Ritual that can scale with it. I will take that, that's a pretty good increase. And if you get something up to purple, then Alteration Ritual has the chance to max it out at red rarity at that point. You can honestly go either way on this shrine. I personally like getting the attack speed to generate more XP, and that also gets you more procs and stuff, but +1 spell projectiles is pretty good damage increase due to the soul stealers. I guess I'll just put that at purple so that it can have the chance of getting maxed out with Alteration Ritual as well. More attack speed, more XP generation, which then gets you more gems and sort of feeds into itself for even more attack speed with Gem High. I suppose I'll just grab that at blue. I will banish this because it's completely useless now that I have quite a bit of spell duration. Like I said, the level 1 white rarity on that is plenty with the spell duration you get on this build. Even more attack speed. These are not very useful to me. I will just level that up so I can potentially get rarity upgrades on it. Spell crit. If you're new to this build, I would actually recommend you put at least 1 point into the life regen thing, just in case you do take any damage, but I've actually done tons of runs on this build without taking a single hit, even on Darkness 30. So it's not very useful to me, basically. These are all useless to me, basically. I guess I'll just grab that one. I guess one thing is that by putting 1 point into the skill, you actually remove it from the pool that Alteration Ritual can give, so you're slightly increasing your chance of getting something good from it. So I guess that is one merit in taking them. An XP shrine on the blue slime wave is very good. I feel like that's one of the highest XP waves in the game, actually. So I think that was a rarity upgrade, since I think those are at white, right? Have a bunch of reds from Alteration Ritual. Yeah, that wasn't red. That was purple. So yeah, we got an upgrade already. Nice. Although, since Alteration Ritual lasts 500 seconds, I probably won't have much time before it fades to try and get a second one. That is one downside to stacking a huge amount of spell duration. But even one upgrade is a huge boost to your build already, so I'm not going to complain. The build is just so strong, I basically don't even need to try at this point. I guess just max that out. I can banish that, I suppose. Your attack damage is very low on this build, so it does very small damage. And right now I have Alteration Ritual Splinter giving me +2 projectiles, which isn't as bad, since one of them will fire directly where you're aiming and then the other two go off to the side. Guess I'll level that up to try and get the rarity upgrade for it. Serendipity to purple is very nice. Once you get your attack speed ramped up, you can actually stand fairly close to the boss, and then even if he like gets an attack through to you, your divine shield will prevent you from getting one shot anyways, so. I don't really need survivability at this point, but the dash cooldown is so low, like, you may as well anyways. The 16-minute wave coming up with all of the knight dudes is also extremely high XP, so if you can find an XP shrine for that, it's a huge boost as well. Perfect, just on time. And some more spell duration. Let's grab that to max that out.
May your quest.
I will grab protection to lower the cooldown on divine shield further. If any attacks get through, you'll take less damage. Wow, I have a lot of face blessings from Alteration Ritual right now. Because I do not have anything maxed out here, but I only have 2 choices, Jesus. I guess I'll just grab that. If it's pretty early in the run, I actually do like grabbing the dash distance for some extra mobility though.
Death is not the.
And in this part of the game, it's so easy, I don't even need my hands on the mouse or keyboard,
Scales.
other than to choose levels, of course. So you can literally just sit in a spot and let auto attack do its thing and get you a ton of XP here. These both are pretty much useless at this point.
Justice.
It's a shame I couldn't have gotten more level ups into the Fates, because Splinter and the attack speed bonuses that they give are both extremely good on this build. These shrines are actually quite nice on this build. Since you attack so fast, the 13% dash recharge triggers a lot. We finally got Splinter at the end of the run. Although, actually, maybe I shouldn't have taken that since that put me at an even number of projectiles. Hopefully I can get some more levels in them off of the final wave here and fix that. One thing to note about this wave is that there's actually a hard cap on the number of XP shards you can pull to you at one time. So you'll see some of them sitting on the ground and not being pulled to me. So you kind of have to stay somewhat stationary, or you might leave some of them behind you. Okay, we're up to 3 projectiles now, so I should probably leave it there. And that'll make it easier to do Dracula with auto attack on.
Justice is... All sin...
I can check for Temporal Lord, but I may be too strong to die at this point. I'll AFK here and see if he can kill me, but he's just dying to passive effects right now. Yeah, I'm too strong to even die to him. Oh well, still a pretty solid level 77 on this run. Which means I probably had Gehenna at some point giving me some extra XP. Let's see what we have over here. Pretty decent spell speed and area. Quite a bit of duration at 274%. Like a huge amount of life and armor. So it would have been extremely difficult to die. %200% is a little bit low. I think Force was probably killing stuff too quickly. I've had some runs recently where I was getting like around 5 to 700% on that. So this build could potentially be stronger without Force, just because of how much extra scaling you could get. 570-second alteration ritual is pretty nuts. Divine Shield is a super low cooldown, so barely any attacks that land on you will even damage you. Force and Soul Stealers are both crazy damage on this build. Chain Lightning was a lot, and I don't even have it in the build. So the full gear one more time. Snow's Watch, great starter weapon, kind of annoying with the angling. Spinning Amulet, great projectile speed, bit of attack speed, a lot of XP, cool off for some extra mobility, XP and spell duration and alteration dice, XP, but the mythic I showed is better than that, luck and passive XP, XP, +1 dash charge, very helpful, a bit of passive XP there to make the early start a bit smoother, and that's it for the XP turret with death. I will try and get a run with the multi-head staff and with lightning to show off one of the other variants for this build. So I guess that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions for, I guess, future videos or ways to improve this, feel free to leave me a comment, and thanks for watching. Alright, so I'm in with the multi-head staffs to hopefully show off the lightning variant of the build with the extra projectiles and spell projectiles. The start is really weak with this staff due to how low the base damage on it is. It's really hard to actually kill anything with it, so having a bit of passive XP will help out a ton. Or just getting Warp Strike instantly and generating a ton of XP with that also helps. One thing about the multi-head staff is the attack speed on it is very slow, so even I mess up the animation canceling with the dash sometimes with it. It's kind of hard to get used to. I do want Celestial Wings, but it's actually the same at both white and purple once you get some spell duration, so I'm going to lock in Divine Shield at purple since that's much more useful at a higher rarity. That's obviously completely useless. That doesn't really help that much, so it's on free XP.
I haven't come.
So now I'm looking for lightning to show the variant. Of course I get a really good choice here, but I just want to show the other version of the build. Purple Alteration Ritual is very nice. Let's grab that at blue, that's fine. Since Inner Peace doesn't really do much for the build when you're so strong you don't even take damage. Looks like I actually got gem high from Alteration Ritual, because I am really fast right now.
Oh, bearing.
Let's see if we can get some lightning. There we go. I will grab Chain Lightning since that's the major proc for this variant of the build. And I'm just going to turn on auto attack while I have gem high from Alteration Ritual, I guess. Movement speed, extra mobility to go around and get shrines and stuff. Oops, that guy is way back there. And it looks like my gem high ran out as well. I will take that, I think, to try and maximize the XP. More Chain Lightning proc damage. Hopefully I can get gem high offered soon and then we'll be fully online already. I will upgrade the XP, I suppose. I'm just gonna keep putting points into that so I have more chances at getting those at a higher rarity. Lightning Bolt is pretty good with the extra projectiles on the staff, but I don't think I'm gonna settle for a white version of it, if I can help it.
A glimpse.
And we just got it from Alteration Ritual anyways.
The final.
I guess XP to try and max out our XP for the run. Although I do prefer when I can get gem high for this wave. But you can see with the extra projectiles from the multi-head staff that you just get an absolute ton of XP generated when everything clumps up like that.
Time.
Looks like I have some extra projectiles from Alteration Ritual right now as well. I think I'll log this in at blue. Oh, I have some free banishes from Alteration Ritual as well, so let's go ahead and use those up while I can. Actually, maybe I alterate and see if I get some good banishes there as well. Huh. I suppose I may as well use one of them on that. And since I have Splinter right now, I can't actually re-roll into that, so I guess I'll just take attack area. Yeah, I'm firing way more than 3 projectiles right now, so it's obvious I have Splinter from Alteration Ritual, which prevents me from re-rolling into it until I lose it. Please give me gem high. Get that out of the way, and I'm just gonna use some rerolls to try and find it, I think. Unlucky. I could take that, or I guess try and find something at higher rarity. The damage is definitely looking a little bit on the low side without having gem high yet, but I can at least get a ton of XP.
The future.
And with that maxed out at purple, that will be out of the pool, making it easier to get stuff now. I will lock in haste at blue for a bit more mobility to find some extra shrines. One thing to keep in mind is the lightning variant of the build has much lower single target damage, so if I get to the bosses here without having gem high, it's actually going to take me quite a while to kill them. For these ones, again, I like taking the attack area for the chance of getting extra XP generated on the attack from hitting more enemies. And even more so in the lightning version where you won't scale as much with spell area, since you don't have Soul Stealer's basic line, but technically I do have them with Alteration Ritual right now. And I will always take Splinter. More mobility. Yeah, this boss fight could legitimately take me like over a minute without having gem high and on the lower single target damage version of the build. I guess having the Soul Stealers right now is pretty nice.
As cold.
I don't even have any alterations right now either. This is gonna take quite a while. I will probably just alterate out of all whites, and we finally have gem high a bit late, but better late than never.
Time is.
I will lock that in at blue, I think, to help with the DPS a bit. I'm just gonna kite this guy a bit. Don't really gain anything by standing there and fighting him, other than it being slightly easier to avoid his skills since you know exactly where they're coming from. Let's take that at blue, I suppose. I will gladly take that at purple, and I can probably use auto attack freely now that I have both Justice Dash and Gem High online. The 33% spell damage has very little downside on this build because most of your damage is coming from guaranteed effects like Lightning Bolt and procs like Chain Lightning, which don't use spell cooldown at all, so it's free spell damage for most of your damage. %, luck, very nice for the Chain Lightning procs and cool off and stuff.
I see a
I suppose I'll grab that at blue to just have the functionality for it. I guess let's just grab that to start improving Alteration Ritual. For the important blessings like that, I usually don't wait to try and get higher rarity on them. I usually just take them pretty early on. With that maxed, I might have to settle for some white rarities on lightning now, though. More attack area.
Do not take what...
I actually kind of don't like when you get huge AoE blessings from Alteration Ritual, like Day of Judgment, which just went off, and the Fire Nova thing, because it kills every enemy at once, which then makes your gem high XP gain a bit inconsistent, which can result in the stacks falling off. So just one little annoyance with Alteration Ritual in this build. Vanishes, very nice. I can get rid of that and upgrade that. Oh yeah, there's a weird bug where if you use banishes from Alteration Ritual giving you the Fate Blessing that gives banishes, and then you get permanent banishes from the shrine, you actually won't get as many. Because I used one there, and I was supposed to have 4 total, but I only had 3. I guess because I used one from the Fates, and then I took a Shrine. %50 duration? Absolutely. Let's see, I will lock that in that blue. It's pretty good with the extra projectiles. Come to me, Red Shard! What are you doing? Chance to recharge a dash on hit is extremely nice. I suppose just more into Deadlock here to improve everything. Like, see, Day of Judgment killed everything instantly, and my gem high stacks fell off because all the gems just came to me instantly. Instead of, like, generating more of them with my Warp Strike. And then at the 13-minute wave, turn off auto attack since the little ghost spawns so slowly that you're not really gaining anything by auto attacking them. These are pretty useless to me at this point. I guess I could take the life regen to cancel out the 3 damage I take on level up now. let Gem High ramp up a bit, and then you can get pretty close so more of the projectiles actually hit him and generate XP. I wish they would add some sort of like indicator for where he teleported to though, because he just kind of goes wherever and it's hard to tell where he is.
Stormy cloud.
Let's grab some more haste to get more shrines around the map.
It is not for
I guess I'll just take armor at white. Yay, more banishes! Best shrine in the game, banishes. I don't really need to banish that since it's just a 1-level skill. I could banish that so I don't have to put any more stuff into it, and I guess I'll just grab that at blue to get it out of there. Now it's purple, so it's completely maxed and definitely out of there.
the god of
And again, you can just AFK this wave. With the lightning version, sometimes the gold guy will get to you, but I mean, I have divine shield, so it doesn't really matter. Let's take some lightning orbs of blue, I suppose. They're not terrible. Although I guess I do have a really slow spell cast speed with all of those shards of the Fallen I've gotten. I guess just grab that. None of these really make a big difference at this point. So since the lightning version of the build is quite a bit weaker against single targets, I'm actually going to save one of those Shrines of Power and just use, well, one of those three I guess, and use them on Dracula to speed that up a bit. This fight's still going to be a bit on the slow side since I'm the lower single target version and I'm a bit on the lower level side. So that's it, the two main variants of this build. I prefer the Death one, it gives you a bit more XP and you've got the ramping from Mayhem and stuff, but Chain Lightning can be pretty fun as well. Interesting, 53% attack range. Don't think I've seen that on gloves before. So that's it for now. I guess I will see you guys later with some more cool builds. Hope you enjoyed.